Welcome to Prime Field, your source for the latest news and analysis in the NFL. I'm your host, Brian, and today we're diving into a surprising trade that went down between two NFC East rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders. The Commanders have sent second-year wide receiver Jahan Dotson and a 2025 fifth-round pick to the Eagles in exchange for a 2025 third-round pick and two 2025 seventh-round picks. On the surface, this seems like an odd move for the Commanders, who are parting ways with a former first-round pick just 2 years into his NFL career. But as we'll explore today, there may be some logic behind this unconventional trade. Jahan Dotson was drafted 16th overall by the Commanders in 2022 and showed promise as a rookie, catching 35 passes for 523 yards and 7 touchdowns. However, his production took a step back in his sophomore season, as he managed just 49 receptions for 518 yards and 4 scores. With new Commanders head coach Dan Quinn recently suggesting an open competition at the WR2 spot, it appears the team may have soured on Dotson's ability to develop into a consistent playmaker. So why would the Eagles, who already have one of the league's top receiving corps, feel the need to acquire Dotson? Outside of Pro Bowlers A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, the Eagles' receiver room was quite thin, with unproven options like Paris Campbell, Johnny Wilson, and Britton Covey vying for the WR3 role. Adding a talented player like Dotson, who still has plenty of potential, gives Jalen Hurts another dynamic weapon to work with in the passing game. The bigger question, though, is why the Commanders would trade Dotson to a division rival. In-conference trades, let alone ones within the same division, are extremely rare in the NFL. The article suggests a couple possibilities. Either Dotson had become a locker room problem that the Commanders couldn't abide, or first-year GM Adam Peters simply got outmaneuvered by Howie Roseman's wheeling and dealing. Neither explanation is particularly flattering for Washington. Losing a young, high-draft pick wide receiver to a division foe is a tough pill to swallow, especially when the returns don't seem to match Dotson's talent and potential. It's a curious decision that could come back to haunt the Commanders down the line. After all, the NFC East is shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions in football, with the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders all possessing playoff-caliber rosters. Gifting a potential playmaker to a division rival could prove to be a costly mistake, especially if Dotson ends up thriving in Philadelphia's offense. Ultimately, this trade represents a classic win-now move by the Eagles, who are looking to capitalize on their status as Super Bowl contenders. And for the Commanders, it's a potentially risky gamble that they'll have to hope pays off, both in the short term and long term. We'll be keeping a close eye on how this deal shakes out for both teams as the 2024 season approaches. Will Jahan Dotson finally break out and become the player Washington envisioned when they drafted him? And will the Commanders come to regret parting ways with their former first-rounder? Those are the questions we'll be exploring on the next episode of Prime Field. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.